What's up, YouTube? Ian here on Wednesday, at least for a couple more hours yet. And I'm bringing you another video for your Paperboy collaboration channel. So this week's topic is a few things you don't know about me. But something kind of crazy happened today. So I'm going to include that in my video. So if you're curious to find out what happened today, stay tuned. So apparently my cat wants to be in the video, which is weird. There he is. That's Squire. Don't ask. Typical cat. He's an asshole. So let's just start with a few things you don't know about me. So some of you may have noticed that I usually record in my garage. And often in my videos, I sweat like crazy because, you know, Texas summers, it is what it is. The reason I record in my garage is because I have a rather large family who is also rather noisy. And they like to, I don't know, find out what I'm doing. So my brother and my father and my fiance and I all live in our house together, which is pretty epic because I like having my people close, which is cool. So that's one thing you didn't know about me. Another thing that you might not have noticed about me, but you probably did, I don't know, is I'm a chain smoker. Yeah. So, say no to cigarettes and alcohol and drugs, kids, because trust me, for the money that I spend every year, I could probably buy a new car. So cigarettes are horrifically bad. Don't use that example. I do not look cool. Let's see, what else do you not know about me? I'm pretty open. I'm a fairly open book. Here's one thing that you don't know about me. I get myself into trouble frequently because of my big mouth, because I'm way too outspoken and really don't care what people think about me, my lifestyle, my existence. So I often get myself into trouble, which is going to lead into that thing that I was telling you about that happened to me tonight. I don't know. There's not really a lot of things about me. Like, I don't find myself to be an interesting person. I do drag, but I've mentioned that in my videos before. So if this is your first time tuning in, that may be new information to you. I have performed, excuse me, I have performed as a drag queen several times, actually, for special occasions and whatnot after I transitioned, which is kind of cool, because oddly enough, when I perform as a drag queen, people don't see me as less of a man or less trans. They actually see me as more of one. Somebody mentioned to me once, the last show that I did as a queen, that I had the biggest balls in the room. So I was like, cool. That people actually think that is pretty awesome, because I'm going to tell you, it takes a very strong man to dress up like a woman. Holy shit. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. But mostly I perform as a king. I'm getting ready to enter a new drag race coming up. I did one previously back in season 3. This is the All Stars Part 2. So I think it's season like 9 or 10 or some mess like that. I don't know. It's been going on for years. A long time. I'm getting ready to do that. That's lots of fun. I have mentioned before in my videos, I facilitate a couple of support groups here in the Houston area. I'm engaged. I'm a homeowner. I don't know. There's not much special about me. I'm just me, I suppose. So, on to that thing that I was going to tell you about that happened tonight. Because I think it's very, very relevant. And regardless of the topic, I actually got permission to go ahead and share this with you guys. So I was at work tonight. I'm not going to mention where I work because that does violate our company's social media policies, and I'm certainly not going to mention any names of the people involved. But there's, you know, when you're working with people, after you get to know them to a certain level, we all make off-color jokes. We all talk about our families and our friends and what we did last Friday, and I mean, you just talk to people like people. You get to know them. They become your friends, your family, confidants. Often you'll spend more time with coworkers than you do with your actual family at home. So, you know, you get to know each other fairly well. So the crew of people that I work with, as is pretty standard, you know, make off-color jokes, use the occasional curse word, you know, great sense of humor, great bunch of people for the most part. There are a few notable exceptions. Well, the other day I was, you know, hanging out at a place and Funny thing, drunk girl, like, kind of, like, came on to me. Whatever. So, I was telling one of my coworkers the story, and I had mentioned to this girl, I'm like, do you know where you are? Like, this is a gay bar. Like, I'm gay. So, thank you, but no. And, he shut me down. He shut me up. He told me, he's like, don't tell me that right now. Blah, blah, blah. There's nothing else going on. Like, there were no things to do, no tasks. Like, we were fine. There was nothing that would have prevented him from being able to hear this story or whatever. So, I was like, okay, that's bizarre, because this guy and I are pretty cool. You know, we've had conversations many times. He's asked me quite a few very, very questions because of honest curiosity. And I'm the kind of person that I educate. I don't get offended. So I've answered his questions to the best of my ability from personal experience. He calls me into the office. He tells me to shut the door. He's my shift lead, right? And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I thought he wanted to hear the rest of the story without interfering with other people's work. And he told me that he got in trouble the other day because he was allowing me to have inappropriate conversations, and there have been complaints that my conversations are inappropriate and that people are uncomfortable. So here's the thing. I don't talk about my personal sex life. I don't think that's anybody's business. I don't really make sexual jokes. That's just not my sense of humor. Some of my jokes may seem a bit off-colored. I tell one that's actually kind of funny. What do you call a guy floating in the middle of the ocean with no arms and no legs? Bob. That's like the extent of my off-color humor. Like, I'm not very funny, but that to me just kills me every time. And I told Daniel, I said, so it's because I'm gay, and that's what is happening. And he just kind of, he was so uncomfortable, he kept giggling nervously. And I told him, I says, just so you know, that's blatant discrimination. That's what that is. If people are making complaints that I'm having the same damn conversations as them, but because my conversations happen to be told about a gay man, that would be discrimination. I will be contacting my HR department tomorrow because I won't stand down. This is not the first time that this has happened to me. So for those of you who may be in a similar situation, you need to know something. You are not alone. I understand that many of us have to have our jobs, and realistically, I have to have mine too right now. But you are not alone. You're not the only one. And most companies that have large scale, national, corporate type companies, they do have anti-discrimination policies in effect. So if anything were to come up, contact your HR department immediately. Now, if you work for a small mom and pop outfit, you might not be anything you can do. And for that, I am sorry, because it is what it is. But don't ever compromise who you are. Don't ever stop being yourself. Don't ever be afraid to be exactly who you are. And remember that if your coworker talks about her husband and her kids, if your male coworker talks about his wife, if one of your assistant managers talks about she hasn't gotten laid in years, so can you. Because when they don't allow you to speak as a person speaks, when they want you to keep who you are and your identity a secret and hide, that's discrimination. It's unfortunate, and it is rampant and widespread, and it has not ended, and it is not going to get better unless we stand up. So like I said, I'll be contacting my HR department tomorrow because I won't stand for it. And if they do try to fire me, I will make sure that they know that I've already contacted the HR department. It is what it is. I don't work for a company that I couldn't replace this job quite easily. I know that many of you, that you might be really dependent on those jobs. You might make a lot of money. You might have no choice but to be more secretive about who you are and be stealth. And if that's your journey, just do you. Absolutely do you. I would still support you 100%. But if you are the kind of person that just feels it is unjust and unfair, don't back down. Just stand up for yourself. Be respectful. Be polite and be professional at all times, and document everything. So, I don't know. I might not have a job tomorrow. I might. It might turn out to be nothing. They might do anything. But I promise you one thing, I am going to give them a headache about it first. So that was my video. That's what I've got. Thanks for listening, and hopefully that this, reached out and helped somebody, and maybe you learned something new about me today. I don't know. It's nighttime, so I'm not sweating quite as much, but, I'll be recording from my garage next week as well. In the meantime, we are actively searching for new Paperboy channel members, so if you are interested in becoming a member of Paperboy, then you are going to want to send a short audition video to tlctrans, TRANZ, at gmail.com, and get to meet the guys and everything. You can also comment below. You can find quite a few of us on Facebook. However you want to reach out, absolutely do so. We'd love to hear from you. And check out the next video. Subscribe so you can keep up with what's going on. And I will see everybody next Wednesday. Thank you so much.